Chat, the divorce is finally over. The divorce is finally over. This man can finally breathe. The boy is finally free. For all you individuals that was D1 slurping, Nmplol, saying all the most vile stuff. I can't say the other words. For all you saying the most vile things towards this man, now he can breathe. He can be himself. Everything's about to come out. Yeah, even Henry Resilient. I ain't got no problem with him. But bro, you know what I'm saying? Henry said some foul things to this man. Nah, Henry, we want to see. I don't give a fuck if you don't want to see an apology. I want to see an apology.
It's time. Let's talk about the divorce. So I've been away for quite a while. Let me tell you why. At this point, the case is over. I've been trying to get this divorce settled. It was a lot longer process than I thought, and I haven't talked about it in any official way up until this point. There's two different courts. There's the court of public opinion, that is Reddit, Twitter, all those great and wonderful places.
Yep, that's the court. That's the worst court you could be in. After watching that video, you realize she was trying to destroy him. Brother, destroy is an understatement. And I'm almost positive I said this. I was like, I said, I don't know if Parth was here. I don't know who was. I know Cleveland for sure was here. I was like, isn't it crazy you can offer somebody 50-50 and they say no, they want more?
And then there's the court of law, where I believed that was the best place to spend most of my time and focus most of my efforts. After it was settled, then we could talk about it. We could dispel any rumors or any sort of questions people had. And that's who this video is for. It's for people who genuinely are curious about what happened. I have documents here in front of me. I'm gonna read them as they are. I'm gonna try my best to not have any of my opinions in here.
We're gonna be unpacking.
Some of these things are a bit confusing for people who don't know lawyer speak. So I'm gonna do my best to explain these documents in a more casual way, so hopefully everyone can understand them. Keep things as plain as I can. This isn't to inflame the situation or cause any stress to anybody whatsoever. I just want to speak the truth, finally. So I want to do my best to provide an accurate timeline of what happened. The divorce was filed by Milena in January of 2025. We had split up the previous
January 2025.
year. It was amicable. We tweeted about it on Twitter. Everyone saw that. And the divorce ended up being officially filed by her in, like I said, January. I sent Milena.
Boom. I got a good one. Green M21. Then they spent all the money just for the court to say 50-50. She probably lost more been trying to fight and just angering to go and have. Nick really seems like a good guy. Brother, he was like, listen, once again, I'm just going to say my piece, right? This man at one point said, why don't you just take the, I think it's completely fair. If you fight this, it's just going to waste everyone's money. But the thing is, you got to think about it. He's going to, if he comes back to streaming, he will continue making income, right? She doesn't stream like that. Does that make sense? She doesn't stream. So it's like, why burn that money that will ultimately could have been yours?
A 50-50 offer down the middle in April of that year. She did not accept it. I did not know what she wanted out of this divorce until mediation, which was actually in November. And essentially what she wanted was the same thing she wanted in trial. And that's what we have here. I warned Milena that trial would be very expensive. It would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but still we had to go to trial, and you'll see why. So bear with me now. We are gonna go into some legal.
Think she could stream again after this? Well, I don't think she will. I don't think she will. If she did, I mean, you know, kudos to her, right? But it's just like, you know how the internet is, man. Like, Nick is not even trying to say no dumb stuff. Nick's never talked ill about her. You know what I'm saying? Like, other than, I don't know why the fuck she's doing this, being all depressed, right? Yeah, if you, and the internet's just gonna, like, the internet's gonna fry her, bro, because you know how it is.
Documents. What I have here is what they call Milena Nmplol's First Amendment disposition of issues. So this is essentially what she wanted. I'm gonna read the document to the best of my ability because I can't read very well, but I'm going to explain things so everyone can kind of understand what she wanted and how it went down. Keep in mind,
Dean X Milena collab will go crazy, brother. I walked into the court, right? I told you guys, like, you know how there's sides, right? Let me just draw this out. Let me just pull out paint and pull out paint. So there's sides, right, gang? The judge is here, Nick is here, Milena's here. Bro, I walk into the court, sat here, not knowing that is really on some gang shit, right? I didn't, I didn't know I had to be behind the person I was supporting, so I was behind her side, right? As I sat there, these guys, like, you ever seen a Tyra Banks, like, America's Top Model look back? Like, these guys looked at me in such disgust, and then I found out I'm somebody that's not here to say they do not like you. You know what I'm saying? After I switch to that side. Yeah, they weren't happy I was there. I don't know why. Yeah, okay. But anyways, let's continue.
We each had this. This one's hers. This one's mine. We'll go over mine, but first let's do hers. Hers is a bit longer. The first thing she wanted, and by the way this works is it's essentially a line with for a check mark and then the thing that they wanted. So the first thing that she wanted was to grant the divorce between the parties on the grounds of insupportability. This is very important, and I'm explaining exactly what that means right
I'm glad you're explaining, brother, because I do not know what that means.
right now. In Texas, a divorce can be granted on the grounds of insupportability, which is the state's no-fault divorce ground. The Texas Family Code defines insupportability as a conflict or discord of personalities between the spouses that destroys legitimate ends of the marriage.
Wait. Conflict or discord of personality? That means if your personalities clash, like you guys just don't like mesh well together. Is that what that means?
Relationship and prevents any reasonable expectation of reconciliation. In practical terms, it means neither spouse has to prove wrongdoing.
Okay.
No evidence of adultery.
Hey, this man Nick cannot take anything serious. This man Nick cannot take anything at all serious. At all.
Cruelty, abandonment, or other fault is required. The court only needs to find that the marriage has become unworkable and that reconciliation is not reasonably expected. So you can file divorce on other grounds, and I'll explain what those are. Cruelty, you can file for adultery, which didn't happen.
Hold on, cruelty. Hold on, what's...
Those are cruelty.
Okay. Okay, physical abuse, okay.
You can file for adultery, which didn't happen.
Okay.
Conviction of a felony, abandonment, living apart, etc.
Didn't live apart without cohabitation for at least 3 years.
She filed on the grounds of insupportability. Next, award Milena Midtoy-Palom a disproportionate shares of the party's estate for the following reasons, including but not limited to. So she wanted more than 50-50. Respondent's economic and financial abuse of the petitioner, respondent's failure to permit access to the party's community property accounts, including for purposes of insight and access to such community funds, benefits the innocent spouse may have derived from continuation of the marriage, disparity of earning power of the spouses and their ability to support, earning power, business opportunities, capacities, and the ability of the spouses, nature of the property involved in the division, waste, and attorney's fees to be paid.
Brother, I probably didn't watch them enough, or I'm just a bit naive, but Milena doing this is a surprise to me. That woman, I feel like saying woman is disrespectful. I'm not even trying to be rude, dead ass, bro. That individual, this whole divorce was based off pettiness and straight maliciousness, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, it was just all malicious. Listen, brother, when I sat in there and they talked about a $14,000 bag in a was it $10,000 or $15,000 chain for an hour, I just knew, bro, it was just, man, you know?
So to explain that, the judge, in order to grant Milena her disproportionate share, would have to find something that fits those sort of grounds. Any of those bullet points that I read off. Next,
No! Bro, if I can say, she got sold the screw your ex package by her lawyers. They know that means he would have to go and kind of fight it. Only when her covered up. Okay, listen, brother, her lawyers were baffled. Gang. Her lawyers would advise. They were baffled. I mean, there's no loss to them anyways. They were making bread. They were like, you don't need to do this. And I promise you, of course they did it because they gonna make money, right? But no, you shouldn't. But hey, we work for you. Fuck. A scorned woman is a dangerous, bro. That's what I'm saying. I don't want any girls to be mad at me. Now I do have one that is upset with me, but it is life.
Information of Milena Midtoy's separate property as outlined in the attached spreadsheet, meaning that there's an attached spreadsheet here that has her own property in it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Next, order Milena Midtoy-Palom's waste claim for Nicholas Michael Palom's excessive expenditures. That was over $100,000 they had claimed against me. The next thing she wanted, and this is one of the reasons why we had to go to trial, order Milena Midtoy-Palom's request for post-divorce maintenance for a period of 5 years from February 1st, 2026 in the amount of $5,000 a month. So she
Now, how much money is that? How many, okay, hold on a second. Calculator, 5. How much money is that within 5? That's $300K.
She wanted me to pay her $5,000 a month for 5 years. We don't even have kids. Next, and this was the biggest one, the most important one, and it's going to take some time to explain it because this is also why we really had to go to trial. Order Milena Midtoy-Palom be granted a judgment against Nicholas Michael Palom with specific language securing such entrance.
Yeah, this is what they were talking about. This is the portion I was in there for. I don't know what King Labs Gaming Incorporated and OTK Media and OTK. These are all rich people conversations. The chat. Remember I was telling you I seen commas and a lot of zeros behind. Bro, there's like an Excel spreadsheet, gang. Like on like 3 different monitors. Like there's like no, not even monitors. They're like projectors. Like a projector on the right side, projector on the left side, big projector behind the judge. Starforge is King's Gaming. Oh my God.
Against the shares and stock held by.
Am I ever gonna get another free Starforge PC now?
By Nicholas Michael Palom with his interests in OTK Ventures, OTK Media, and King's Gaming Labs Incorporated. So this is essentially the crux of the entire trial. I mentioned earlier that Milena wanted a disproportionate share of the estate. She wanted a 60-40 split of the entire estate.
Okay.
It was a little bit more complicated than that. What she wanted to do essentially was have her 60% be all cash and my 40% be heavily weighted in my OTK shares.
Now, mind you, I just want to say something. For instance, if let's just say all this money, because it's probably upwards of like $350K that was paid in lawyer fees, right? If all, what is the standard cost of living in Norway? What is the standard cost? Is it expensive in Norway or is it like it's like Denmark? Is it expensive or it's high? Oh, so it's high. Okay, never mind. Okay, well, all right, never mind.
She wanted about 90% of the cash reserves, plus she wanted me to pay her this post-divorce maintenance, and my 40% would be essentially all in my OTK shares, which no one really knows what those are worth. This was the biggest point of contention in the trial for me. I don't think anyone would have accepted the offer that was presented in front of them. Essentially, it would drain me to 10% cash reserves, be in debt a whole bunch of money. So I would put a lot of trust in those OTK shares being worth something someday. So that is just about half of the document. And I don't know if I should say this, but now it gets kind of funny, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Up next is a section called.
You see a spreadsheet right here? This is what was on screen. I'm pretty sure this is like all the income, like all the income shit.
Income taxes. And let me read this for you. Order that any refunds received from the date of marriage through the date of divorce be divided equally by the parties, with Milena Midtoy being entitled to 50% and Nicholas Michael Palom being entitled to 50%. So if there was a tax refund, she would get half of it, I would get half of it. Makes sense, right? Order any liability from the date of marriage to the date of divorce be paid solely by Nicholas Palom. So if there was a tax bill, I would have to pay for all of the taxes. But if there's a refund, Milena would get half of it. Order that.
What? That's a thing?
But if there was attached to the date of divorce be paid solely by Nicholas Palom. So if there was a tax bill, I would have to pay for all of the taxes. But if there's a refund, Milena would get half of it.
The eye look. I'm telling. Listen, fellas. Listen. This is what I be trying to tell y'all. You don't want enemies with a woman. You don't. Because mind you, I'm not gonna lie. He got lucky. You know why he got lucky? They had no kids. Gang. If they had kids, brother, it would have been GG's. Because I'm not gonna lie. Listen, southern states normally lean towards the woman. Normally. It always majorly favors the woman. Okay? I'm just saying.
Order that the parties file separate tax returns and partitions as January 1st, 2020.
Hold on a second. To live well in Norway, a single person needs a monthly budget of $35,000 to. Oh my God, that's expensive, gang. Oh my God.
26, and each party be liable for their own respective taxes for 2026, and each awarded respective returns for 2026. Makes sense to me. Up next, injunctions. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing. I'll try my best to explain it for everyone. Order Nicholas Michael Palm be restrained and enjoined from making any public statements, whether written, verbal, or visual, regarding the ongoing litigation and the parties' divorce, unless mutually agreed upon in writing by the parties and filed within the court. So that essentially says that me, and you notice her name's not there, but me and me alone can't talk about it.
This, bro, chat. This is another thing, because remember, I went there towards when the court case was initially over. This is when she was awarded the Escalade, right? And I was saying 07 Escalade, and I asked a very important question. I felt like this question was very important. Okay, I asked, does a Starlink go with the Escalade? Because I felt like the Starlink was really important in that aspect, right? So yes, she sent the Starlink with the Escalade. Okay, I thought it was an important question, but everybody just laughed at me. But this is what's scary. The fact that the internet was already frying him, they wanted to gag order his ass so he couldn't talk about it. I'm like, bro, what? That is insane. Like, because now, if like God forbids, right, that shit would have got passed, you guys would have never known this, and he would be obligated by court order not to say anything. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? That means this guy would have to go live and just get shitted on by the most random dick cheese, neck beard having individuals possible, and he can't say anything.
And then the next line is, strictly in the event the court does not grant the requested permanent injunction,
but I can't say too much, but something big is happening.
Milena Midtoy-Palom requests the court, after trial on the merits, to grant the following permanent injunctions enjoining the parties, their agents, servants, employees, and attorneys. So pretty much everyone involved this is the following injunction. Directly or indirectly disseminating, publishing, or causing to be published, or directly or indirectly requesting a person.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Henry Resilient gang. Like, listen, you probably in here, bro. You know me, bro. Listen, brother, I ain't got no beef with you. Listen, man, you gotta do, bro. You gotta do it don't even need to be an apology, gang, but it's just got to be like shit, my fault, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro.
Disseminating or publishing any letter, story, statement, correspondence, description, or depiction of any kind whatsoever, including on any social media, whether fictionalized or not, which is or could be reasonably interpreted to be disparaging, negative, or defamatory in its description of the other. I'm
not gonna lie to you. This is why I'm not a lawyer. I mean, this is why, brother, chat, this is why I can't get sued, gang. This is why I can't get sued. Did Nick cheat on her? Brother, the guy barely makes eye contact with women. I introduced him to somebody I was talking to at the time. This is Nick. His autism, his spectrum spike is beyond the... Brother, what do you mean? No, he didn't fucking cheat on her. Do you still have your divorce lawyer and return it? Hell yeah. That motherfucker has access to all all the videos that goes on in my house. Well, he doesn't have access. The firm has access. You know, it is what it is. God, I'm not gonna lie to you. If that firm gets hacked, gang, and then my sex tapes are just out there, I mean, I'll probably just drop an OF. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll probably instantly drop an OF instantly. Like, that shit would be up like 400%, gang, on God.
Your party's personal, professional, private, or family life.
I wouldn't feel bad. I'd be like, oh no, oh my God.
Without limitation.
Have they seen you? No, the firm doesn't, like, it's just so that the footage in my house is just on it's like on a separate thing, so it can't be on the internet, but it looks like a box with a bunch of lights on it, chat. I don't know. All I know is all the videos are in there, whatever happens. Like, so if somebody says something happened on a certain day, they have the footage. Yeah. I don't know if it's a server or not, but it looks cool. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
The business.
Don't give hackers ideas. Brother, those hackers will make my careers if that happened. I don't have access to it. It's all on them.
Or the financial affairs of the other party. So essentially, anyone involved with me whatsoever could not talk about this divorce. Spoiler, that did not get granted, because obviously we're talking about it now. I'll explain why that didn't get granted, because essentially that's an infringement on my First Amendment right to the Constitution of the United States of America, which is freedom of speech. Milena Midtoy-Palom requests the court order Nicholas Michael Palm to pay reasonable attorney's fees, expenses, and costs through trial and appeal, and a judgment should be rendered in favor of Milena Midtoy-Palom against Nicholas Michael Palm and be ordered to pay directly to Milena Midtoy-Palom. Milena Midtoy-Palom request post-judgment interest as allowed by law. Also, it says Milena Midtoy-Palom requests the court deny any and all of Nicholas Palom's requested relief filed with the court. So that's a lot. I'll explain quickly what she wanted. She wanted a 60-40 split because of her reasons listed. She wanted me to pay her $5,000 a month for 5 years. She wanted the majority of my part of the split to be locked up in my OTK shares. She wanted me not to be able to talk about the case whatsoever. She wanted the things about taxes.
She played the long game. She ultimately kind of screwed herself, man. She ran her money down. She dwindled her money. At one point, I'm almost positive her rent, I'm just going to say it. I mean, if Nick gets mad, I don't think Nick's going to get mad at me, but because the court case is done. Her rent she was paying, I think her rent was like $6K a month in Texas while she was in Texas. And they were trying to get him to pay for that. Bro, during the divorce, it was like some absurd number. And they were trying to get him to pay for that.
She also wanted me to pay her lawyer fees. So what did I want? Let's get into it. It's not going to be as long as what she wanted, so we'll keep it plain as possible. I'll read it as is, just like I did with hers. Number 1, grounds of divorce. Nicholas Michael Palm requests that the court be...
So you know for a fact Melania didn't try to ask nicely for a fair share. Listen, Max underscore. Listen, see these right here? I, one, seen the document. Off rip, when somebody says, you know what, this relationship is not working out, here's 50%. I think that's fair. Off rip, no fight, take 50 of everything because you worked your ass off, you deserve it. Clock it, right? But nigga, you cannot tell me that I think that's more than fair. No fighting, no back and forth, here's 50. They didn't have, not even to think twice. Yes, including shares, brother or sister, including shares. So you can't say that's not fair. It's like, you know, like I'm just saying, like you can't say that's not fair. I don't think anyone can say that's not fair. I mean, of course, the Reddit trolls, the Twitter trolls, the guy that's like, oh my God, Nick, you're a dickhead. I mean, Nick is a dickhead. Nick is a dickhead in the aspect of like when it comes to streaming. Like if he tells you like, listen, bro, this content's kind of dead. You probably shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? That's when he's a dickhead because he'll be $150 with you. Like he'll be like, bro, that is kind of shit. Don't do it. Like that's when he's a dickhead to you. You know? Other than that, the motherfucker, he doesn't even like speeding because he thinks he's gonna get pulled over. And his dad told him, son, you're already black. Don't give him a reason. And then he literally quotes his dad every single time he gets in the car.
Granted a divorce on the grounds of insupportability. There's that word again, insupportability. This is the only thing that we agreed upon in the entire case, which is good. It really is. Next, division of community property. Nicholas Michael Palm requests that the court divide the community estate in a manner that the court deems just in right as provided by law and set out in Exhibit A attached hereto. So Exhibit A is essentially an exhibit with spreadsheets, and it ends up being a 50-50 split down the middle. Stocks, shares, cash,
okay,
everything. Next, separate property. Nicholas Michael Palm requests that the court confirm and assign his separate property to Nicholas Michael Palm as set out in Exhibit A attached hereto. So my stuff is my stuff. Melania also had her stuff is her stuff, which makes sense to me. Next, waste and reconstitution. Nicholas Michael Palm requests the court to find that Melania Midtoy Palm has committed waste on the community and to reconstitute what ought be the actual existing value of the estate.
Okay, what does this mean? The reconstitute what ought to be the act. What? Like, bro, I swear they play word genjutsu with people. Like, what is ought to be the actual? Why is that a thing? Why can't you?
As a part of the court's just and right division of the community estate as set out in Exhibit A attached here.
Oh, now all of a sudden everybody just, this deed is just English. Why can't you read? Okay, bro, okay.
So just the waste claim, essentially, she had one against me, so I had one against her. I'm not trying to get into the gritty details of that. Next, attorney's fees. Order Melania Midtoy Palm pay a portion of Nicholas Michael Palm's attorney fees, expenses, and costs, rendering a judgment against Melania Midtoy Palm in favor of Kirker Davis, LLP, attorneys for Nicholas Michael Palm, and order.
I'm not gonna lie to you, one of his lawyers was bad as fuck. Like, she was tall. Like, she had to be, like, Swedish. Man, had to be Swedish. Bro, she was about 6'1" on Nick's side.
Melania Midtoy Palm to pay such a judgment directly to Stephen W. Payne and Kirker Davis, LLP, who may enforce the judgment in attorney's own name with post-judgment interest as allowed by law. attorney's fees. And then my last thing that I asked for, request for Milena Midtoy-Palom, Nicholas Michael Palom request that all relief requested by Milena Midtoy-Palom be denied. So essentially what I'm asking for in this is a clean 50-50 split down the middle, just like I wanted back in April and March of 2025.
Yep.
What we have here is the court's ruling. This is what everyone's been waiting for, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Dear counsel, from January 12th, 2026 to January 13th, 2026, the
Remember I was there in January.
court presided over this case and took it under advisement. The ruling of the court is as follows. Divorce.
Was it Holly? Hold on. Is that her? Wait, is that her name? Let me see. Hold on. Let me look it up. Yes, it was her. That was her. She like 40. Hey man, you know what they say? It's like wine. It's like wine. It's like wine. I might get married just to get a divorce and hire. And I'm just like, let me stop.
Is granted on the grounds of insupportability. It's good. That's what I wanted. That's what Milena wanted. It's a no-fault divorce. Next, division of community property. 50% to Mr. Palom and 50% to Miss Palom, with the exception of King's Gaming Lab, Starforge, ordered to be split 55% to Miss Palom.
Wait, isn't that Starforge?
And 45% to Mr. Palom. The court finds that the disproportionate share of those funds are warranted due, number one, the disparity of the earning power, number two, nature of the property involved, and three, waste. So let me explain, before everyone gets all excited, what that means. I have a very small ownership in Starforge. She gets 5% more than I do, and if you do the math, it ends up being about 15K. If you remember, during Milena's disposition of issues, she had asked for a 60-40 split.
So I can't get another free Starforge PC.
Because of things like economic and financial abuse of the petitioner. She did not get that. The
Ask Milena.
community estate was essentially just 50-50 split down the middle, with the exception of Starforge, which is about a $15,000 extra towards Milena, and it makes sense to me. I will probably earn more than her going forward, and that seems pretty fair to me. Up next, and this is very, very, very important because it has to do with my shares, Nick and Nmplol are designated as constructive trustee for Miss Palom's interest. So what that means, I don't have to send her my shares. I don't have to send her cash for the shares. Okay. I will hold her shares in my name until they're sold, if and when they're sold. So what happens if he never sells them? That was a big, big, big deal for me. Doesn't put me in generational debt, and if they sell, they sell. Up next, attorney's fees, denied. Each party pays their own attorney's fees. Motion to seal the court records, denied. Attorney fees.
The assistant to the lawyer, right? Okay. I have to draw this out. This shit made me sick. The lawyer's assistant, and the lawyer's assistant had an assistant, and then the assistant had one more assistant. This last assistant, gang, was making $175 an hour. The last assistant was making $175 an hour. Brother, just imagine what it was like all the way at the top. Not that bad. Oh, not that bad. But then when you count, because this shit went up to like 240. Then this shit went up to like 260. Then this shit went up to like almost 300. Bro, it was insane. The amount of money just being thrown at these lawyers. Bro, motherfuckers be like this. Motherfuckers be like this. Oh man, Nick, her lawyers want to fight this one again. It's unfortunately it's gonna push the case about 6 more months. Yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with it in 6 months. Bro, these motherfuckers were just making bread like endlessly. I got a fan following. It makes no sense. Soda said that they're hold on a second. What? Soda said that they had someone come in and appraise Nick's Pokemon. Yes, they did. This happened at the OTK crib. It was at the OTK crib. He had all the Pokemon cards laid. I was like, bro, what you doing with the Pokemon cards? He's like, yeah, some guy has to come in and check the value of all of it. I was like, the Pokemon cards? She wants the Pokemon cards? Yep.
Injunctions, denied. Post-divorce maintenance, denied. That means me not being able to talk about the case was denied, and the $5,000 a month for 5 years that Milena wanted was also denied. She did not get that. Each party is...
What was the value? I don't remember. I don't think I was there for the value of the Pokemon card. I was only there for the, like, I seen I'm probably one of the very few people outside of those companies, those venture capital companies, whatever, that knows the price and what they're worth. That's pretty sick.
Keep credit card in its debt in their own name. Each party to keep household furnishings in their possession. So all this stuff in this house is mine. All the stuff in hers is hers. Each party to keep their jewelry and personal items. So for example, that necklace that I wore, I get.
That was on the spreadsheet as called a wait. They was like, why is he buying that? Nick was up there. He's like this. Nick was up there. He was like this. They're like, Mr. Pullum, do you think a $30,000 chain is not a waste claim? Nick was like, well, do you know who I am and what I do? I believe it is part of my, imagery and as an influencer. And I was like, Nick, you are not influencing shit, gang. You don't even wear your chain on stream like that.
To keep. Pokemon card collection to be divided equally. Mr. and Mrs. Pullum to each keep their own online skins. Magic the Gathering card collection to be divided equally. The Super 73 bike is awarded to Miss Pullum. Each party to keep ownership of their own social media accounts. 2023 Cadillac Escalade is awarded to Miss Pullum. 2021 Nissan GTR is awarded to me. 2023 Cadillac Escalade is awarded to Miss Pullum.
And the Starlink too, gang. And the Starlink.
2021 Nissan GTR is awarded to me. So that was the court's ruling. To summarize, it was essentially the same exact offer that I had offered her back in March and April of 2025, with the exception of the extra $15K. This court case lasted well over a year. It cost over $400,000 in lawyer fees, expert fees, and in my opinion, most of it was unnecessary.
That's the worst part, because the lawyers couldn't divide it, because it's not like a regular thing, right? So they had to hire a Pokemon card expert. I'm almost positive. What's that other card game? There's another card game that people play. What's that other card game? They had to bring a guy in for that shit. Like, bro, I'm like, Magic, yeah, Magic. I was like, all these experts just to...
But I had to go. I had no choice. If I was to continue to stream through everything,
it's Magic together, yeah, Magic
about it the entire time, like they did when I first started. And I do believe that me not streaming was the quickest way to come to a conclusion with this divorce. So there was a lot of rumors and things that kind of spawned from this case because documents were leaked and people made up their own theories and ran with them. I could sit here and diffuse all of them. It'd be pretty easy because none of them were true. But honestly, I got the ruling that I wanted, and I'm not going to do that. I might mention them on the podcast with Chance where we can do it in a less informal environment. But that's essentially kind of what happened. That's the story. That's where I've been.
Bro, this dude went through fucking hell and back.
Really does suck that things ended up this way with me and Milena. We spent well over 10 years together. It just ended up being that way. It's the road that we had to walk, and it's over. There was a whole bunch of different dramas and things that happened behind the scenes that people would find really interesting, but I'm not trying to throw any shade at anybody or at this point. If I don't have to talk about that, I won't. Speaking for me emotionally, this whole thing has been quite stressful. There's been so many things said about me that just aren't true. It was somewhat exhausting. And once I got this ruling, I literally broke down and cried. Like,
he does cry a lot. Like, I love it, but that nigga be crying a lot. Like, yeah, that nigga do be crying. I'm not a dick. I'm just being honest. That nigga do be, like, this is the perfect emo for him, bro. That this is like, he should have one of these. That this is exactly him. And this is Catchy holding him. Or he'd be at his knees.
I was like sobbing tears, that it was finally over. This actually happened back in January when we finally got the ruling. But lawyer stuff, it took until last month for it to actually be over. I wish Milena and her family the best. I have no ill will towards them. Hopefully things go well for them, and I'm just ready to get back to work. I want to give this another try, see if I can still do it. So that's the summary. Again, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thanks for watching, and fuck you. There's only one winner when it comes to divorce court. It's the lawyers.
True. Chat, listen, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, what did you learn from this, ladies and gentlemen? Let me tell you something. If you're gonna do the stupid decision to get married, get a fucking prenup. And then when you do get married, then get a postnup. Please, for the love of God. Okay? For the love of God, just do those two things. And if he or she hits you with the, oh my God, you don't believe in our marriage? No, nigga. Look at the statistics. We are bound to fail. Say that. Unless you're white, then.
Or just marry right one.
The right one. This guy, bro. This guy, man. Yo, hey, 45 months. Thank Part. I appreciate you, gang. Thank Part. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Because they're walking away with $400,000 of me and Melena's money, and they could not give two fucks about us.
They don't. They probably bought tables on 6th Street. Or they're probably at the Omni Hotel down the street from 6th Street. You know what I'm saying? With their mistresses and oh man, exec suites